Welcome to the Abuki Cabal Show.
What's up, y'all? I want to apologize for the technical difficulties I was having when I first tried to upload this video when it first happened. So I had to iron out some of those issues. But I wanted to give my take on the spectacle that we witnessed on the Lapeef Let's Talk show. So I want to say that I just have a overwhelming feeling of
vindication
after watching, Tawana and her husbiance, because she can't decide whether he's her husband or her fiance. She doesn't know what to call him from show to show, but they're not married. They're shacking right now. She's pregnant, which she let us know on, the show, I think a couple of shows back. I think that was her last show where she was, playing the victim and using her pretty points, her pretty coin, pretty currency to basically get us to sympathize with her because she felt like she wasn't being supported on the show. And she felt like she couldn't, that there was nothing that she was contributing to the show. I can't contribute anything to this because I don't see what you guys see, and I can't speak for all Black women, is what she said. So she got emotional, started tearing up and basically talked about leaving the show. And everybody, was like, no, don't leave the show. And, Courtney was like, you do have something to contribute, and that's when everybody runs and goes, no, don't cry. It's kind of like, when, white women cry, when they want, you just to empathize, with their position so that you'll go ahead and do what they want you to do. Which is usually pretty terrible. She's using the same technique. And, they called her on it, but after that, you didn't see her on the show much anymore, A couple episodes went by, and I think, Tawana was sitting back in the background watching, and she was also involved in some things in the group, Lapeef Let's Talk group, pretty nice group. You guys ought to check it out. Support JR, Anton, the rest of the crew. They put up some pretty good content. But anyway, she was welcomed back onto the show. Tawana seems to not be able to take accountability for some of the toxic behavior that she exhibits, and throughout her time on the show. If you go back and you just watch the show, you'll see, you're listening to the topics, and and her favorite thing is, I disagree. Well, I hear what you're saying, but I disagree. And some things have to be held or upheld as fundamental truths. She will not even acknowledge things that are undisputed to be facts, things that plague our community. Well, I've never witnessed that. I've never seen that. So everybody looks at her on the show. Anton puts his caps on, and everybody's like, really? You've never seen this? you know, we're going to go into, what happened on the show, and I'm going to take, some pieces off of Anton's show, because I think JR took down, the original post that he put up. But Tawana came onto the show, and she was, really disingenuous. She's, doing her fake laugh. So she comes on, and I heard someone, you guys were talking about me, so I thought I would come on the show and see what's going on. And then she, turns her head to the screen, and like, what? Crickets? No one has anything to say. So at that point, I mean, what you're coming to your colleagues, people who supported you show after show after show. And you're coming on with negativity and toxic behavior. The things that she says that she's never seen and never exhibited. Remember, her interaction with Kevin? Oh, she was highly toxic before she went on that show. I think Anton set that whole thing up. I think he's going to talk about that, So he set her up for a blow up. It was an opportunity that she basically squandered. She goes on the show. She didn't say any of the stuff that, she and, he's been off the show for so long, I forgot his name. B-Nix, So she and B-Nix were talking major trash about Kevin Samuels before they ever even watched the content fully. I think that's a character flaw. And that's something that I think we as a people, we just shouldn't do. So she goes on to Kevin's show, and she just folds up. She falls into, into pretty point mode, and she just, fake laughs and, uses her attractiveness to basically just ease her way through the show without really being tagged. And I think Kevin took it easy on her, which, he did that as a strategy, but that's a whole nother show. So we see some of the same issues going on in this show. She addresses Courtney. She says, Kay, I've never been on a show with you before, but she and Kay are cool because they both engage in toxic behavior in the group. I myself have had interactions with Kay in the group. My last interaction, she was using a word in a way that was not proper. So then she comes with this Vulcan-esque, Mr. Spockish, response, tilting her head and, and just being a blank slate while talking, and she basically, she posts up, the dictionary version, which I reposted her own, source, which said that she was using it in the wrong way. And, then it's, would you like to have the last word? And it's, and that is toxic in itself. When dealing with a man, these women feel like they don't have to give you basic respect. Allow me to have the last word. So you're going to allow a man to have the last word after you have espoused something that is wrong. So you're constantly trying to vie for power in a situation rather than moving from a position of neutrality like men do. See, this is a perception about who men are, but men don't act that way. So we're gonna look at this a little bit, and we're gonna break it down. And I'm gonna try to skip over Anton's comments because I wanna do my own. this was fascinating to say the least. So let's take a listen.
I tell JR, don't even tell me who's coming on the show. But look at my face right now.
That's why.
Hey, we having deep dives and conversations on mute right now.
Come on, no, I wanted to say hi to you guys. And
fair use, guys. Fair use.
Disingenuous. Watch this.
And, kind of just, see what's going on, what's happening.
Hey, look at me. Look at me.
You see that? Crickets. See, that's just evil. You know what I mean? And some may look at that as if she's playing, but she's not playing. And she's got a man in the background, and they've already talked about this. So they've already set this whole situation up. Now, the whole thing about this is that she's upset over things that she hasn't addressed from shows back. You guys call my husband a beta. Well, okay. But you're constantly trying to inject your man into the show in an improper fashion. If he wants to come on the show, I'm sure JR would have invited him on the show. And if you look at Tawana's behavior, I think it's not even a disputed point that she is a dominant personality in that relationship. She acts as if no one can rein her in. If you listen to her comments through show after show after show, it's I do what I want. Now give you a little background on Tawana if you don't know. Tawana was married, and she left her first husband because she said that it's the usual. He wasn't ambitious enough. He didn't have enough dreams. They were young. All the usual stories that they make up for them to basically tell you that they got bored. And that they felt like something else was around the corner. Better was around the corner. So basically, she put her education over her relationship, but not before she had a child. I think it's just one, might be two. I'm not sure. But she moved on. I don't know what she did in between all of this time. She's pretty vague about that. But now she's in another relationship that she is now pregnant in. She calls him her husband because it doesn't really look good that you got pregnant by a guy that you're living with, that you're not married to. But this is the part where all the women say pretty much we can do whatever we want to do because we don't want to be held accountable for any kind of standards. No men in our community should not be, men or women or anybody should not be able to put standards on them about how they should do things. But see, this is how it used to be. And these new age women want things new age. New age means I'm not being held accountable to any standard. I can act however I want to act. I can use my body however I want to use my body. I can, I feel that women should be able to just do whatever. Girl power, So let's look at a little bit more of this.
Yo, she chose violence the minute that she decided to participate and come on a platform. She chose. He's watching and I'm gonna get right into it.
Okay, here we go.
Came in. I wanted to make sure that she got wherever it is that she wanted to get off, and then we gonna get right into it.
You haven't regularly called me, and we haven't had conversations on how you need to do things.
Now, this is the part where, he's talked about these things, and they talked about how they uplifted Tawana and how they they took care of Tawana. And this goes back to what I was saying about Kevin Samuels. But after that show, when he set that whole thing up, Tawana could have made content on her own and become successful on her own outside this show. But also on this show, she had a position. I mean, it boosted them substantially, I'm sure, with their numbers and their subscribers. So that was a missed opportunity. That's not thinking. That's not using your head, but you're supposed to be college educated. You're supposed to be a person who's able to apply knowledge and do things in a way that's beneficial, not only for you, but your children and, your partnership, which is your marriage that you're not in yet, but you should be thinking like that so that you can do things that are beneficial for your union, for the success of your union. Okay. So let's look at how Tawana acts
differently on the show and how you need to stop reading the comments and how you need to stop paying attention to what other people are saying about you and none of that. We ain't had none of those conversations.
I never said that we never had conversations.
He was asking,
but you never said that we did have conversations either.
Well,
Yo.
Right. But here, I think right after they came off of the show, off of the Kevin Samuels show, she did acknowledge that Anton called her and whatnot, and he was helping her out, and she thanked him, and they had a moment, And I think this is the part that kind of makes me kind of believe that there's more to this story, because you'll see later on that there's some things that are being thrown out there as far as things, receipts that could be shown to show the authenticity of, one party's claims about who Tawana truly is, what her true side is. I mean, not what she shows on the show, not the nice lady, that she tries to put forth, the basic, pretty, kind of well-groomed, pretty lips. She's got some beautiful lips, but these are the things that they do to draw you in. This is a disingenuous behavior that some of these women use to draw you in so that you will seal the deal. Okay?
Oh, we just gonna skip over that? We gonna skip over that and we only gonna have half-truths? Half-truths? Let's be clear, yo. I was she couldn't even talk and she would speak man to protect.
Responding to what you said. You pretended like we never talked. You pretended like you didn't know me.
How did I pretend like we never talked? And I specifically said in the video, I talked to Tawana. I've even had her on my show multiple times. For her to say exactly what she even.
Yo.
Yeah. And then he's going to say, did we not talk on three-way? All three of us, JR, Anton, Lapeef, and she said no. JR said, yeah, we did talk. So who's lying, y'all?
The last time that she was on my show, it wasn't even a whole month ago, bro. Yo, if you got so much smoke and so much big in her, we had general conversation. We had rah, we cool, whatever like that. Asking me to coach her, asking me to coach her family members. Yo, my such and such, this person, so on and so forth. They having problems. They not what they supposed to be. Anton, can you please step in?
Me and JR is not having your back. Like we wasn't both on the phone with you.
Everybody is professional, doing their jobs. B. Nix is doing what he's supposed to do. JR is on top of things. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. She the only weak link.
Now, this is where it comes out that basically, I think behind the scenes, I think, and I think Anton, talked about this, is that, they were ready for her to just go ahead and move on because pretty much she wasn't contributing to anything to the show. But, I don't know. Maybe I disagree because I think that they're missing out on a gold mine here. I think they should take all three of the ladies I think they should take Tawana. I think they should take Courtney. I think they should take, Kay, because people love to hate Tawana, because people know disingenuousness when they see it. I mean, and she reeks of it. And if your man is not a beta, then you're not going to be acting like this on the show. You're not going to be acting out of pocket and just irate and unprofessional on a show like this. I mean, this is not a laid back, demure personality. This is some, mother Razorback trying to defend her piglets type of activity here.
Y'all want to be on the same level. Y'all want to have equal rights. Well, guess what? I was the main one advocating for you and protecting you, ensuring that you stayed on the show. I was the one that had your back and was like, yo, it's a misstep. She'll be good, bro. We just gonna coach her through it. We gonna push her through it. Let's keep going.
Times trying to ensure that you're successful and all of this.
I love you both on the show, on the phone with me. Let's get that straight. You talk to me.
JR, have we not been on a three-way with this chick?
No, you have not.
JR said, yeah, sure have. Now, he's talking about the conversations, that they had in the background. Look, JR's sick of this shit, man. He is. And Kay's just looking like, wow, deer in the headlights. I mean, not Kay, Courtney. Well, Kay is looking like a deer in the headlights, but can't see. But yeah, she was. I mean, she was just totally blown away by this whole thing because her friend's getting ripped to pieces.
What? You have been on three-way with me? When?
Jesus Christ.
When have y'all been on three-way with me? JR, I've talked to you privately, and Anton, I've talked to you privately. Don't get me wrong. That had nothing.
The thing about
it had nothing to do with what was said on the show about me. What was said on the show about me was you trying to have emphasis on something negative about me when you
having emphasis.
Okay, yeah, having emphasis. Basically, she's just like she doesn't know how to use a word. I mean, that's not even the way it should be used in a sentence anyway. But you're college educated. Wow, and you don't want to be on the show. You don't have, this is too much negativity because you're pregnant and all this other kind of stuff, but you're sitting in the background watching the show and all in the comments and all in the group, keeping up mess because you're toxic. You have it in you. You are not who you say you are. Let's look a little bit more at this.
What does that mean? Either I'm going to say it or I don't. I ain't never minced words or pulled back from exactly what it is that I wanted to say. Yo, a lot of people can have.
I got a lot of respect for Anton for this, because he walks it like he talks it and he says it. I mean, because basically you got nothing for me. And let's face it, guys. If you're not attracted to the woman and you don't want to be in a intimate relationship with her, she has no power over you. She has no power over you. She can't move your decision-making process in any way, shape, or form. So then the playing field is truly level, because she can't sway you in any way. She can't, shake it up and, bat her eyes and all the things that they do to try to make you make your decisions. And if they put you in that situation then, or they find themselves in that situation, then the next emotion that's going to come out is disdain and anger issues, irritability, not being able to deal with you because they it's almost like they can't read you. I mean, you just pay attention and you'll see it. So she's at a deficit here and she knows it. So watch what happens.
They can have conversations about how they don't like how I say things, what I say, when I say it, but I've never been the one to hold back and pull back exactly what I'm going to say when I'm going to say it. I don't infer anything. I don't have emphasis on anything. Either you're trash or you're not. I ain't never, I don't care if this is with my Patreon members or on Lapeef Let's Talk or on this channel. I say exactly what I think when I think it.
Told me outside of the show, why would you even try to highlight that about me? Why would you throw me under the bus? And
you know that
because you were drunk. Because you trash.
Oh, so he let go some of this. I don't think I saw this. So she's a drinker, and I think he's alluding to her inability to control herself when she's inebriated. This is not unusual. This is not uncommon, gentlemen. Let's watch a little bit more.
And that's the things that we haven't been saying.
Thing about it is that I never, nobody tried to throw you under the bus.
Never once mentioned Tawana is this person. I know her. I know her character. You never.
I should have. So if I'd have told what her character really was, should I have been truthful or should I have just been?
The question is, the answer is, they always want you to lie. They always want you to put them in the best light. That's part of not being accountable. Right? I mean, this is a no-brainer. But I guess everybody's basically gotten sick of covering and acting like, she's somebody that she isn't.
Focused on building her up to be the person that she wind up turning out to be in front of you guys. What's her character? Y'all want me to tell y'all who she really is? We'll get into that. We'll get into it.
And she's always talking about being Michelle Obama and that being the standard. Well, you don't measure up to that. You don't measure up to that. But you say you don't speak for all black women, but you've said in past, statements that we should treat all the black women, the queen thing, which that shows you don't know what the title of being a queen is, because it has to be given by the man, the king. You don't just be a queen. I think maybe, the whole British monarchy thing has probably got that all mixed up because, of the queen over there, but that's not really the way it's supposed to be. Anyway, let's move on.
We getting there. We gonna get there.
Never once supported that. You never once said anything about me. And when you're on the show, you talk.
That's a lie. You guys, that's a lie. Now look at her face. Look at her face. That's who she really is. That's the face you're going to be looking at. Now, when you see her out and you're trying to get in a relationship with her, that's not the face she's going to show you. I don't give a shit how long it takes. I mean, if you're in that relationship for, I don't know, years, and then you get to the point to where she reels you in, or she gets you to think that it's your decision, or in your best interest to basically marry her, she essentially sells you that used car, with the dings that you can't see and all that other kind of stuff, all the, the air conditioning doesn't work, all of that, but she makes you think that, it really is a good deal. So then when you take that and you drive it on up the road and you get it going for about, a year or so, then you start seeing this face. That's when you start seeing all of that strife, uncooperativeness, that tearing you down, that whenever you're comfortable and you're content, whatever you're doing in the house or in your life, you're making the amount of money you want to make, they're always pushing you to do more, work harder. It's almost like cracking the whip. When you see the guy riding the chariot in the movies and whatnot, and he's cracking that whip trying to get that horse to go faster. That's what that's like. That is a perfect depiction for marriage to someone like that. Look at that. no black man wants that. And when we say that, we're the ones that are supposed to be wrong in the situation. But you guys think long and hard about that. That's who she really is.
Talk about my man.
Hey, look how frustrated I am right now. Look how frustrated I am right now.
Now, she didn't go off about people talking about her man in the past. See, this is one of those underhanded, dastardly situations where you basically, she pulls her man into a situation where he has to fight some unsuspecting individual who really hasn't done anything to her, but he's got to come out and prove he's a man for Tawana.
Because it's like and I'm gonna be honest, the only thing that was going through my head is, why have I wasted so much of my time trying to protect and build this chick up, only to see it all implode right now?
And that's the question that we all ask ourselves. We've all been in this situation where we all ask ourselves, why have I invested so much time in an individual that's not going to do what I need to be done, that's not going to be on my program, not going to be on my plan. She's constantly going to be trying to get me on her plan, you know? So you're going to be out there doing what you have to do so that she can do what she wants to do. Now, if you get a person that's of the right character, that's not a bad situation. But if you got a person that has the wrong character, that's the worst situation to be in the world. Here we go.
My husband, all the time, you call him names. I've never once said anything about
I think he a beta.
once.
That ain't changed. I didn't change that when we.
Now, who else that watches the show thinks that her man is an alpha personality? You know, I don't think anybody thinks that, because look at how she's acting. She's not acting like she's going to be held to any kind of standard when she gets off that show. You know? So that makes him look bad. She doesn't even understand, because this is a who raised her moment. She doesn't even understand how she's supposed to act, because she's never been held to any kind of standard. And that's what everybody's been trying to get over to Tawana forever. So let's move on.
Hey, you know what's so funny about this part is because I was calling him a beta way before I ever first interacted with her in person. If he was really all about that life, because
Yeah, he did. And he said the same thing show after show after show after show. But she's never interacted like she did now. See, because now she's off the show, so she's going to act a whole ass. Because I don't know, she's in her feelings. I don't know. She feels like she can't respond in a way that's going to be visual enough for her to be, you know, the center of attention. Could that be it?
anybody can get on the internet and talk tough and be like, yo, you a BAN and all of this other type of stuff. I was in Chicago with your chick, homie.
Uh-oh. Now look at his face. He's got his tongue out, and I don't know, for some reason, I'm looking at Anton and I'm thinking, he's he's like, he reminds me of Willie Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? He just, doesn't he kind of remind you guys of Willie? Wow. What's going on, Anton? So he is not lying. I mean, he's telling the truth. This is exactly what he's been saying forever. So I guess shots been fired long time ago. It is what it is. So let's move on.
And you knew about it. I'm in Chicago regularly. Why you ain't pulling up? Why is she allowed to leave the house? And why is you texting all hours of the night while we hanging out? We're having a good time. You at home babysitting the kids, fam. Why you acting all tough on the internet now? Ain't nothing changed. Why y'all can't see through it? Why y'all can't see through this, yo? Why y'all can't see it? What we talking about? One thing you can never...
We can, Anton. We can see straight through it, dog. But, you know, come on, man. Just let it play. Let it play.
Ever say about me is that I have not been authentic and consistent the entire time that you guys have known me. Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. And no problem with him, because, yo, it is a problem with him, to be honest with you, because he's the one that allowed his chick to get on here and say this type of stuff. Don't check me, check your chick.
Whoa.
Check your chick. Let's go, man. Let's keep going.
When we was on the phone, yo, my wife checked you straight up in the comments. Real talk.
Check me. Your wife can't check me.
Yeah, whatever.
Yo, I'm gonna skip past that part. That ain't even relevant to me.
Yeah, okay. That's exactly what she did. But the point is that the same way I am offline was the exact same way I am on the show. Mm-hmm. And I don't switch up for nobody. I don't switch up for nobody.
Look who's coming. Oh, Lord. He done run in from the other room.
Not one person.
You a... That's right. You a...
Okay. So you come in on the show and you call Anton out his name. Now, black folks think this is okay, but I want you to take a step back, close your eyes, and I want you to imagine if this happened on The View or on The Talk or on any other show where the husband ran up on camera and basically called out someone who was saying something negative about your wife's position. Not about her, but about her position on something, you know, which she's been wrong about pretty much everything she said here, you know, and I'm not privy to the things that have happened in the past. I mean, not in the past, but on the, you know, in the off camera, you know, when they interact with each other, off camera, you know, I'm sure there's some things that have happened that we're just not privy to, but this is unacceptable. And this shows that this is the type of person who can't, he's rushing in to protect his woman. And he looks moist. He looks very, very Duncan Hine-esque with this, you know? And this is not appropriate for a husbiance. This is not how you should act.
Yo.
Y'all see this? Are y'all watching what I'm watching? Are y'all watching? Watching what I'm watching. Hey, watch how this plays out. Okay, so what you're about to see here, this is a teachable moment. So he runs out of the kitchen, jumps on the camera to internet thug it, ain't do none of that in person, none of it whatsoever, runs out of the kitchen, internet thugging it up, right? And then, hey, watch how she emasculates this guy. And you telling me that I'm supposed to identify him by anything other than exactly what I'm seeing, which is a beta. First of all,
That's true. But come on, man, just let it ride, man. Let me see if I can get past this, man, because, you know, I just want to see the grungy details. Look at him. leaned all over his pregnant wife, you know, I mean, not even concerned about her safety. My God.
Chick is never talking greasy on camera in the first place. You don't even see my chick on camera. At all. At all.
I was in Chicago. No, bring him back. Bring him back.
Now, this is where I'm going to take accountability for who I am.
No. I don't think you should take accountability for anything. I think you did exactly what you should have done. I think really you should be commended for holding on to your receipts. I think you should be commended. For staying your sword and not striking out in anger. You're a good man, Anton. You're a good man. I wouldn't have done the same in your shoes. So let's see what else happens.
We're going to get into that part too, but I'm going to take accountability. I'm not completely innocent of this either. And that's the thing that y'all have to be real about me with, is that I'm objective enough, even with myself, to acknowledge my own faults. We'll get into it.
He a beta. He's still a beta. Still a beta.
Baby.
You still a beta.
Yeah.
You still a beta.
This is the reason.
Look. Hey, watch this.
And look at her face. She's not upset. That's almost a smile. You know, she's almost tickled by the results of her impetuousness. You know, her ability to just be conniving and to draw people into this web of just infamous behavior here. I mean, this is crazy. And she is the reason why all of this is going down. But she's pointing fingers at everybody else. You're wrong. How are you wrong? Tawana, you've never acknowledged that you've been wrong about anything. That must be exceptional to be the type of person that has never been wrong about anything.
It's like two women at the same time in the same frame. They about to go in together. Look, because he feeling a certain type of way, now she about to get her big energy off and the hood about to come out.
You ain't.
We just having a conversation.
Meanwhile, Courtney over there looking like a lady, being above it, being classy.
Hey, we just have a conversation. Chris, we just have a conversation.
I was just in Chicago.
Hey,
Hey, look at her. Look at.
She said, come for us, bitch. Come for us. Okay. Is that Michelle Obama-like activity? I mean, is that, how a lady should conduct herself? Is this the type of behavior that would bring a male of any reasonable stature with regard to looks or resources or anything that matters? Would he run to be by your side? I think not. What's the word I'm looking for? Is it ghetto? Could be ghetto.
Look at her, fam. Pay attention to the bottom middle. Tell me what y'all see.
A conversation.
I was just in Chicago.
She said, you got me fucked up. Really? But we've never seen this from Tawana. We've never seen this, y'all. Never. So then this is the part where JR tries to rein it in and tries to be the bigger, person in the situation, tries to bring it in. But basically, he just kind of let this all play out because I think he wanted us to see the true nature of a certain individual and why she's not progressing on with the show. Now, these guys are about to start touring. You know, the channel's probably going to start making a lot of money, some resources and whatnot. And she could bounce off in her own direction. Some of the other people could go out in their own directions and whatnot, and be successful. But she's in her emotions about nothing. She's attacking people who have supported her for months. I don't know how long they've known each other. Is this logical behavior? And I think she's hiding something too. I think there's more to this. I think she probably got out of pocket and probably said some things she probably shouldn't have. And, it's going to make, Anton basically call her out on it and say, do you really want your man to know who you really are? You better tell him to leave the room. I mean, he really basically, he gut checked her, And I don't think she's ready for that. But you guys check it out. We're going to get on through this and get done.
We just having. Let's just have conversations, y'all.
Sure?
Let's just have conversations. Hey,
Look at her. Hey, look at that right there. If that's not the devil in all of his glory, right in that frame, I don't know what to tell you. Who wants to come home to a chick that talk like that can push you out? First of all, you shouldn't even have been on that. Secondly, she gonna put him out the room. Watch this.
Hey.
You better control. You better control him.
hey, we just having conversations.
Hey, they on here acting like.
Okay, now, let's look at this couple. Okay, I want you guys to really just kind of look at this. I want you see, tell us what you see. I mean, does it look like this is the type of guy that Tawana has been talking about throughout all of these shows about him being high value and all this other type of stuff? He looks pretty street to me. I think Tawana likes successful Pookie and Ray Rays. I don't know what he does, but I know he likes watching, wearing sports attire and whatnot, and multicolored shirts and whatnot, hoodies and stuff. But I don't know, but I'm trying to picture them together and how that kind of looks, what that's gonna kind of be like. I mean, who's gonna be running the show in that? Who's gonna be the level-headed person in that type of relationship? I think it looks like dysfunction to me. And I think Anton said something to the effect that, this guy probably wasn't even her, we know he wasn't her first choice. She's getting a little long in the tooth, and I think she probably has come to the realization that she better get hitched quick, and this guy was good for it, But you guys, you think about that. See what you think about it.
Like they don't have our number in real time. Like they don't have our number in real life. He talking to JR like JR can control me. You can't mute me. You can't mute me. What you talking about?
Don't mute me, JR.
Hey,
Don't
just
mute me. Because you know what's real?
We just having conversations. Let's just have a conversation.
You know what's real though?
We don't have to involve anybody else in it. Let's just have a conversation.
Hold on, JR.
Hey.
Hold on, JR.
Yo. Oh. Whose chick talks like this? Where's my chapstick? Yo, can you grab my chapstick or the Vaseline from upstairs? Let's go into it.
Tawana. Let's just.
One thing I want to emphasize before we continue is that y'all got to stop saying that people care about what we're doing, right? As though other races are looking at us and studying us. They don't care, fam. And it's important to have these difficult moments and difficult conversations.
You know why? Because they see this dysfunctional shit that's going on. That's why. They know that once we get together, we are going to tear each other apart trying to be the top dog. Black women are being held above even their men. And, you know, it's a bad situation for our community. And they don't even see it. If you even try to call it out and you try to say, hey, how you gonna uplift the women and then just take us out of the picture altogether? All you got is just black women and their kids, and ain't no men. They're non-existent in the community. They're non-existent in all of the depictions and whatnot that's being thrown up. So, but they don't have a problem with that, because it's like, hey, get your money. All you successful black men, y'all should be putting money into trying to help out the other black men. So they don't care nothing about you.
Because you'll never get to the root of the problem if you don't put it on blast and identify it. We all need to be having this conversation. Stop caring about what other people think, and let's learn from it, and let's let it be a teachable moment so that we can grow. I don't really care about what I go through. I only care about the results at the end of it. I don't care about how people view me. I care about what my results are. I'm not trying to look good for everybody else. I'm not trying to put on a front from everybody else. I'm trying to actually get to where I'm supposed to be. Let's get into it.
Had a conversation.
Let's be real.
Let's just have a conversation.
I got the receipts if you really want to get into it like that. You want this conversation to go that way? You want the conversation?
Gotcha, bitch.
What kind of receipts are we talking about? Wouldn't you guys like to see the receipts? I would.
To go this way? Do you want the conversation to go this way?
Hey, why she didn't want to talk about what I wanted to talk about at that point?
This council has no hesitation in proclaiming you all guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Because she's guilty.
Let's just have a conversation.
You better tell him to
Let's just have a conversation.
It's gonna go bad for you. I promise you.
You better keep my out your mouth.
Hey, I better keep her name out my mouth.
Let's just have a conversation, y'all.
Hey, look at JR trying to be the big bro. Look at JR trying to solve for the situation and be the media mogul that he is.
Hey,
it's gonna go bad.
Anton, let's just have a conversation.
You better tell him to
Let's just have a conversation.
Hey, you better tell him to leave the room.
If he don't want to get this,
hey, watch this.
Tell him to leave the room.
Let's just have a conversation, Anton.
Watch this.
Let's just have a conversation.
I'm gonna play nice, but don't keep asking me to treat
Look
these
at her
shits
face.
with kid gloves.
Watch this.
When they not ready for the real truth, because I got the receipts.
You
I
ain't
know
got proof about me.
Hey, y'all think she capping or no? Who capping? I want to know in the comments who's capping. Do I have something or don't I?
Inquiring minds would like to know.
Let me know in the comments. Hey, make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all get the likes up, fam. Get my likes up, yo. If we gonna continue this show, I want my likes going up. Let me take a drink.
You are listening to
Let's get in.
Awww Cabal, the analytical savage.
To it.
All right, you guys.
Hey, watch this.
Yeah.
Watch this.
All right,
Watch
you
this.
guys,
Period.
Period. With a T. I've warned you, fellas. Any chick that start talking and adding consonants on the end of their words that don't belong there, they for the streets.
Don't know shit
Hey.
about me.
I think
Hey,
we're
watch
gonna
this.
get on this.
Heard about
We
me
gon-
is hearsay.
Hey, Tawana.
Hey,
We going
JR again, trying to protect her from herself. Watch slowly. Teachable moment.
we gonna end it on this.
Hey, look at her
We're
eyes.
doing this.
Watch this.
We still got
Why
more
we
shows to
ending it,
do.
bro? Why we ending it?
It's the best moment right
Do
here.
he want to know who his chick really is?
Watch her.
or what?
Watch her face.
We going.
Hey, did you see that? Did y'all see it? Yo, fellas, y'all have been emasculated. Y'all have died on behalf of these same type of women every single day.
That's hood booger activity right there. That's not upper echelon right there. I mean, what y'all think?
You gentlemen have suffered enough at the hands of not all black women, because I know some phenomenal black women. I know some women that's absolutely awesome. I know them. My mom is one of the most phenomenal women that I know. And, you know, my chick, so classy. You will never find my chick talking so classy like this, so classless like this. You will never find my chick talking like this. Look at that. Hey, look at her. Hey, is her man gone? Is he out the room?
Just had a conversation. If we can have a conversation.
Talk about. This is what y'all. This is
All right,
what
I'm
you
gonna
do.
be. My chick is saying be the bigger person, so I'm gonna be the bigger person.
Hey, real men surround themselves with people in their circle, including the people that they marry, the women in their life, the men. Because often at times women are smarter than us, right? It's not the greatest executives, the greatest kings, the greatest leaders surround themselves with people that don't tell them what they want to hear, but the things that's actually going to add value to their life. So I trust, because over time, my chick has added so much value off camera to my life. I trust her judgment. When she says things to me, I listen. I take it into consideration. Ultimately, it's my decision on what is going so that we can grow. I don't really care about what. I'm not trying to look good for everybody else. I'm not trying to put on a front from everybody else. I'm consonants on the end of.
All right, just know you asked for this.
Hey, I see this AJ guy in the chat. Level that you can keep my name in your mouth as though you shouldn't be castrated at the very thought of speaking my name. That's blasphemy. Treachery. Treachery, fam. You're not even willing to have a real conversation with me. I watched a little video. I watched what you said you would do, but I guarantee that you won't even face me, whether it's on this show or your show. The link is in the description. You're more than welcome to call in and tell me exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, that's enough of that. So, I was hoping we could, get past all that, but that's the gist of what happened, and it was a hot mess, y'all. It was truly a hot mess, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to end it. You guys go and like and subscribe to both channels, and I will put links in the description. I think we went kind of long on this one. Fair use. I really didn't mean to use as much of Anton's show as I did, but he had to get his word in, and I can appreciate that, and I'm sure you guys can too. It's been fun, guys.
You are listening to Awww Cabal, the analytical savage.
I feel like a motherless child, alone ways forever.